You want details? Fine. I drive a Ferrari 355 Cabriolet. What's up? I have a ridiculous house in the South Fork. I have every toy you can possibly imagine. And best of all, kids, I am liquid. So, now you know what's possible. Let me tell you what's required.
Life advice is lifeadvicerr@gmail.com. Kyle got engaged. We got that. We had another question about your fitness journey. I feel like this is a quick answer.
What about it?
What happened to Kyle's fitness journey? The Nigerian guy?
I've been waking up early, doing some solo stuff. Little jog
What's
walk
solo
thing.
stuff mean?
Jog walk
Planks.
thing. You know, sucks jogging, kind of hurts the knees a little bit right now. So I'm going to wait until it doesn't hurt to really ramp up to a run. But what can you do doing that in the morning? But yeah, no, that's never. I saw my friend yesterday, but we didn't work out. If you know what I mean?
You saw your Nigerian friend yesterday, but you didn't work out.
Yeah.
Didn't you buy like supplements and stuff?
Never.
All
Not
natural.
since high school.
All
pal.
natty.
Yeah.
Respect it.
So that's it. There's the journey's over. It never left the harbor.
Pretty much. Yeah. There's always time to start, right?
So your guy's not bugging you anymore, though? Like he's not. Like he seemed pretty gung ho on getting you in the gym.
No, I mean,
figuring it out.
honestly, it fell away pretty quick. I mean, the guy's got kids, he's got a couple jobs. I think it's more of a relief that I think he's more relieved that I didn't stick to it more than I'm relieved that he's not still bothering me about it. You know what I mean?
It's one of those things where he was like, yeah, we should get you in shape, and then immediately regrets it because he realizes what the time commitment would be. And he's like, all right, I'm just not going to say anything if Kyle doesn't say anything.
I mean, half the time he comes like an hour and a half, 2 hours late to work anyway. And the guy's behind the bar. He's like, what the fuck? I'm like, I'm checking IDs. I'm like slinging drinks. This is crazy. So if, I would have been pissed off if actually I had to show up to work out with him. And he's like, oh yeah, 40 minutes. I'll be in there 40 minutes. Like, all right, well, this won't happen again. So I think if we just saved all of ourselves disappointment all around.
How many appointments were actually scheduled?
Probably I could count on, maybe I would need 2 hands to count, but wouldn't need more than that.
So more than 5, less than 10.
Yes,
unless you
exactly.
have abnormality.
That's correct.
From birth. So more than 5 times you guys said, tomorrow's the day.
Yeah. Or Tuesday. Yeah. Tuesday's great.
Tuesday's the day.
Whatever.
And then crickets on the text chain.
Correct.
You're basically playing a game of chicken to see who responds first.
How many of the appointments were scheduled after beers?
Well,
all of them?
Most of them. Yeah. Most of them for me and maybe 1 or 2 of them for him.
Yeah. Okay. No, look, we've been there. A lot of great plans have been made over beers.
Yeah, we should start a business. No.
You got to start training for like the beer. Don't they have like those beer 2Ks where you drink a beer after every mile or kilometer or whatever?
Yeah,
I feel like that'd be
awful.
reality.
I think I need more water than the average bear if I'm exercising. So I think I don't think
you
beer
ran
would
out
help.
here. I didn't know.
No, I do not.
Yeah, you just hear him talk about his knees. Now we're going to throw in a couple.
Well, he's working his way up. He said once his knees don't hurt anymore,
ones.
Yeah.
All right.
Some icy hot. Figure it out.
Here's the other part of the fitness journey. You were at least mentally kind of gearing yourself up for this, and it sounds as if whatever that wiring was about those days, that doesn't exist. Like that was it wasn't a workout fad. It was a thinking about workout fad.
That it was thinking about like going hard, but then also now that I was still excited to like work out. I've got some 30 pounders that I wish were 25s. In my house, dumbbells, and I wish I wasn't like, yeah, probably 30 is for me to start out again. I wish it was less than that, but so I have that, and also I wake up super early, and usually just roll out of bed, and I've got like a 3-hour. No, I mean yes, but also because, but when it's normal and we start at like 8, it's like I'll roll out of bed at like 5:45, and I'll just do like a 3-mile walk jog thing, and yeah,
damn.
I'm doing that now. I'm doing that.
That's all right. We take it all back because I know that this felt like a collection of soft jabs at you, and now you're telling me you're doing power walking in the morning before the sun.
I'll run across the crosswalks, and if there's like a few tents, I'll pick up the pace. But yeah, it's been good.
You don't like camping, huh? Okay, this is a full circle of like. Now there's tons of respect. You're doing stuff. You're out there. You're moving around. Don't worry about the 30. Why can't you work yourself? Look, curling 30s out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's no fun.
A great time.
It's not a great time. That's what I mean.
30s is a lot. What can't you just do maybe some some bench stuff and just lay on the ground. I saw some video about some guy who's like, I guarantee he'll never get hurt, and because he just always makes sure his range of motion is never elbows below the shoulders. Maybe you just do some stuff
Lay on
like
the
that.
ground. Jesus. I guess.
Lie on
I
the
mean,
ground.
what do I know? Yeah, why not?
Maybe you could do some front deadlifts with them, like just. All right, moving on. Okay, before we get to a couple of these, Cerruti, do we have an announcement as well?
Yeah, man. I'm pretty excited that starting in October, maybe November, I will be able to say as a parent on this podcast
Holy
during
shit.
life advice. Yeah,
Cool, man.
I know. Some people are like, "Hey, Kyle, way to big up Kyle. You couldn't let him have a week or something." I'd swear we didn't plan this. Kyle's super happy for you, but yeah, my wife and I are having a baby, so baby girl.
I heard that too.
October.
I didn't know what the fuck this guy was talking about. That's awesome, dude. Congrats.
Thanks, man. Doing Halloween.
They were
Pretty
like,
excited.
somebody's like, what the fuck is Russillo going to do now? So do you got anything to say, Ryan? Or
I don't know. I'm looking at boats.
get a boat. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe a boat.
Looking at boats. So, we'll see.
Awesome.
We'll
man.
see. All right. Well, congratulations, Cerruti.
Thanks, man.
This is
I know,
crazy.
big adult week on the pod.
God, guys are growing up all over the place.
It's pretty
all
crazy.
grown up. I don't know that I ever loved. I don't think I like when Vince Vaughn says "all grown up." I think everybody else sounds like an idiot when they say it. Like only Vince Vaughn is cool enough to be able to pull that off.
That's fair. That's fair.
Okay. All right. Let's get some advising in. This is a really good one. Really good one. It's complicated. Hey, Ryan, 5'9", 180 and rising. Getting old sucks. Can get buckets if left open. I have a dilemma. Bought a house a few years ago, decent neighborhood. There's an apartment complex across the street. Not ideal, but it's fun. At the start of COVID, I purchased a basketball hoop. I play regularly and wanted to stay in basketball shape as all of my seasons got canceled. A few months ago, a few of the neighbor kids from the apartment complex started playing on my hoop. I'm guessing around middle school age. At first, they came around when we left the house. We have a doorbell camera, so we could see it, but gradually became more constant. I finally went out to talk to him, say it was fine, but there had to be some ground rules, the typical stuff. No fighting, don't break anything. But I also asked that they be done by 7, as I have a 2-year-old whose bedroom faces the driveway where they play. To say they've taken advantage of the situation is an understatement. They now play every single day from 3:30 until 7, and all day Saturday and Sunday. There's always at least one kid shooting, usually more. The dribbling of a basketball is all we hear during our waking hours. Bikes are always parked in the lawn. All of our solar lights around our planters are destroyed. The lawn around the hoop is completely torn up. I can't imagine what will happen when my wife plants her usual flowers in the front lawn. I think we can imagine.
Yeah,
what's
it's not going to be good for you, pal.
Just start putting cactuses out there, cacti, the plural of
pricker bushes.
With all that said, they're good kids! ! They quiet down when I ask them to. They're usually good about leaving at 7 p.m. They wave at my daughter when we get home from daycare. All good stuff. Man, this sucks.
Man.
Because it sucks. My question, even though I truly hate it, do I just let this happen knowing it's probably a good thing they're outside playing in a safe environment rather than whatever else they could be doing? Am I a jerk or honestly just not wanting Am I a jerk for honestly just not wanting them there all the time or feeling like their parents treat my house like some sort of after-school daycare program? I really would much prefer they are not there, but I'm not sure I can just tell them to leave. How do I handle this? I think it's like some people are going, it's not impossible. You tell them to leave. And some people are going, what are you going to do? I think it's great that you care this much. Clearly, reading the email, like this is a dilemma because you want to help the kids. Like you don't want to be the guy in the neighborhood that goes, hey, kids, fuck off.
Literally get off my lawn.
Right.
Yeah, right. And they're kids and they're junior high kids. You could come up with something where it's like, if they're respecting the 7 o'clock thing, can they respect off days? Can we get some DNP load management in there for junior high kids?
Every other weekend. Yep.
I don't know if that's going to happen. The lawn part of it. Here's what I know about. They don't mean to trash your solar lights. They don't mean to trash your lawn. They are kids.
They just don't get it. They'll never get it.
I had 2 14-year-old roommates here for a week. There were some things that you would go, what the hell are you doing? And I didn't say it out loud. It was also weird for me as a recluse to have activity like that. But then I would go, oh, the reason he did that is because he's a kid and you don't worry about it. But this is tough because your daughter's going to get older. Your wife is going to get more annoyed. Your lawn is going to get worse. And these kids are going to get older. And they're going to start smoking cigarettes and stuff. And this, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? So I would try, but again, this is like when one of my roommates from college came to visit me to work in construction during spring break because we didn't have money to go anywhere. So we decided to make some money. And my youngest sibling at the time was very, very young, and he was crying. And my buddy's like, "Can you tell him to stop?" I was like, "Are you like you're the youngest, huh, in your family? Can I tell? Yeah, let me just go pull him into the side and have a one-on-one with him. Like, hey, buddy, I know you're 2, but my roommate from college is really just not into your crying.
It's really
So
inconsiderate.
I really don't think I have an answer to this one. I don't, because I don't want you to tell a bunch of kids to stop doing something that they really enjoy, which is clearly what you don't want to do either. We could talk about parameters, having this day be basketball day. I think it's kind of great that you've allowed it to come to this. And like I said, that you care, but it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. And for me to say blindly, tell them to never play at your basketball hoop, I don't want to say that. And for anybody else that says you can't do that, all right, put a hoop up at your house and have all the neighborhood kids come by. And that's just how kids are going to be. They're going to be like, this is awesome. It's a basketball hoop. Like, let's go. This is our hangout. This is what we're going to do. But to have it be all day, every weekend, and then every day, 3:30 to 7, that's going to drive the nicest person crazy. And I don't know that you can pull that off as your family, keeps moving on in the family process. We can ask Rudy about this now.
Yeah. So a couple months from now. But I just remember back in the day, and I look back on it now, and I'm like, how did my friends' parents not hate all of us? Like, we would break couches, pool liners, like everything, and they would just be, and there was never really any like real repercussions. And you just look back and go, how did they not get no more annoyed by that? I guess when you're, first time I'll throw it out there, when you're a parent, you're probably just happier they're around, right? And like, you can kind of at least supervise and see what the deal is, and you don't want to kind of ruin their happiness as long as they're having like good-hearted fun. So I think that's kind of it. I think you just kind of have to deal with it.
Right. But you as a parent now, you're only seeing it through the parent eyes. Like, these aren't his kids. So he's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can understand you thinking that way when your daughter has all her friends over and you're like, well, at least it's at our house so we know what's going on. But these aren't even his kids. This is a tough one. And I honestly, anybody that sends a follow-up saying they know exactly how to handle this, maybe you do. You probably don't.
Yeah,
either.
you could end up getting your house egged or TP'd or whatever. But I mean, and they're probably not even those kids. I have one idea, and it's gonna take 1 second. I'm a big comedy club guy. What if you could work out something like the red light, where you don't have to go and be like, "Hey guys," be like, "Hey," you just tell them like, "Hey, listen, when the sound plays or when that shit in my window starts blinking or whatever, it's time for you guys to get out of here." And sometimes it won't go on, sometimes it will. Like, you could just be like, whenever it's pissing you off, you just push the thing and be like, hey, either respect the light or one day this hoop's going to be turned around the other way or something. I don't know. Like, I
don't hate the light idea. I don't think they're going to listen to you.
Yeah.
And then and by the way, there'll be some parent in the other complex is like, oh, red light guy's on. It's like, okay, well, it's his house.
Yeah, correct. That's
because no matter what, the more you start to expand the number of people involved in this activity, there will be the one parent that actually will find a way to blame you for what you've done here.
Right.
At its core was a really great thing. And you'd like to find a way to still have this happen. You're not saying just shut it down. You're not saying take the hoop down because I can't do it anymore. There's no way this isn't going to get worse. And I feel for you because you're in a really tough spot. I mean, maybe you could take the hoop down and put down like what, baseball? And then be like, kids would be like, oh, this sucks. I was just trying to think of an activity. Badminton. I'd be over there every day.
I'm in.
I love badminton. All right, let's do another one here. I guess we covered it in that. That's complicated, right?
To your point, though, like about the baseball thing, like you can just give kids like raw materials and they find a way to fuck shit up. Like, it doesn't even matter what it is. Like, they're just going to do it.
All right, we're getting a lot of is this stealings, and this one hits close to home, so I want to do this one. 5'10 and a half, 170, 12% body fat, but minor knee arthritis. Okay. Thank you. I was like, man, 5'10 and a half, 170. I wonder how his knees are. Oh, okay.
Minor
though.
Minor.
Okay. 12% body fat. First time, long time. Hoping you guys can help settle an argument for me. A buddy of mine goes to Chipotle 3 to 4 times a week for the past several years. The last time I went with him, he was grabbing napkins and utensils, then proceeds to put an entire bottle of Tabasco sauce in his to-go bag.
Tabasco sucks anyway. Why are you stealing Tabasco?
Cholula? Are you a Cholula guy?
I'm a Louisiana hot sauce guy, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, Go Tigers.
Like vinegar-based
I-
sauce.
I was dumbfounded and immediately called him out and accused him of stealing. His argument is that it isn't stealing, is that they don't put any of those plastic to-go sauce cups out for him, just put a little in. And they don't have Tabasco sauce with him behind the counter in the assembly line to put it in his burrito for him. He says he takes an entire bottle once a month or so and then uses it for the rest of the month and says it's part of the implied cost of his burrito. I think this is asinine. He should just pay the $5 at the grocery store for his own Tabasco. Am I crazy to think that this is blatant stealing? No, your friend sucks, okay? Because once again, this is one of those theories that I propose, is that if everybody fucking did this, then, and by the way, because people do this, this is why when you go to some Chipotle's, they don't have it out anymore. There was one in West Hartford Center, when I used to live there. Guess what happened? They had Cholula out, and everybody liked throwing it on the burrito. And then guys would just take their own, right? The kids from Hartford would come over, not the city of, the college would come over and be like, all right, well, I'm just going to take this. It got so bad at the West Hartford one, they had to actually stop putting out like different utensils. They'd only put knives out there or forks, but they couldn't put spoons out. You'd have to ask, and I'd be like, what's going on? Like, we have to keep a lot of the utensils behind the counter because the college kids would just be like, cool, utensils for the rest of the month. And so I get it, because I remember being young and thinking, cool utensils, salt shakers, guys started stealing stuff from the cafeteria left and right. That's a cafeteria, tuition's going up, implied cost. Maybe I can hear that one a little bit, because all these younger kids are getting destroyed anyway. It actually reminds me of this, like the selfishness of how people can be. There were recently, I forget who it was. I think she was in the media, and she said something about loan forgiveness as we're talking about tuition. And she had said, like, I just paid off my college loans, and if this debt forgiveness is enacted after, I'm going to be so pissed. It's like, fuck you. That's not the point, is it? Is it? Because it's hilarious how some of this stuff plays out publicly. It's like, you want debt forgiveness because you think it's a really good thing for this younger generation that continues to be forced into absurd borrowing against ridiculously rising tuition costs. These schools just keep jacking it. It's awful, okay? It's awful. No one should be on the other side of this argument. Fuck the bank stocks, okay? But this one person was like, I'm all for debt forgiveness, but if it happens after I paid off my student loans, I'm going to be mad because how it affected me, how it impacted me, the one person. No, a greater good is about to happen, but you're mad that it's going to happen to you, that the timing was bad for you. All right. And I understand if you're in this spot, like, oh, that sucks. Yeah, it did. But it's actually a greater good for everybody in this. Again, next generation's getting hosed, not only in the housing prices, but being forced into debt because of ridiculous tuition. All right. So pivot that back to this. Is
Stealing
everybody right? Stealing hot sauce. Back to Tabasco. Green or hot. No, this girl's tweet. It was so ridiculous, because you just go, I guarantee you were all for this until you were like, oh, actually, it's gonna, like, it'll be inconvenient for me though. I'm like, yeah, right, all right. So, yeah, your friend's a stealer. He steals shit, and this is stupid, and it sucks. And him being like, oh, I'm low on Tabasco, time to steal another bottle from Chipotle, and it's all factored in. I mean, it's great you go 3 or 4 days a week, but you're the reason why there's other ones that we can't even get a plastic knife unless we ask for one, because of you. So way self-centered, probably an only child or the youngest that asks his friends' kids to tell their 2-year-olds to be quiet. And I didn't mean to say acts. Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. And I just think it just sounds like one of those people that walks around feeling like they're owed something. Like, the way I look at it, it's like when you buy something from a place, like, what you get is what you bought. I mean, yeah, there's some other things, but it's like, oh, well, they don't do this, and their whole system doesn't allow it for it automatically to give me a little mini Tabasco, or they don't automatically hand me this thing. So this is what I'm owed. It's like, really, you what you bought and paid for is what you got. There really isn't anything else outside of the transaction. So if you're like not happy with how something went after you already did the transaction, and you just think that you're owed more, like, that's on you and you should live with that. But and if what you decide to do is steal, then yeah, you're a stealer. And
I think it's a terrible red flag. Like, weird about bills with roommates. You know, he's the kind of guy who's gonna be asking for a raise after 4 months. You know, what's the vacation? You know, he sits in the interviews like, what's the vacation program here? Red flags all over this kid. I don't even like him. I don't even know him.
I agree with you guys, but I need a ruling on maybe some of my behaviors, because I don't know if this kind of like crosses. Because I think the thing is, it's not like it's a full bottle of Tabasco sauce, right? So that's the difference. It's not like a miniature thing. You know, like in some takeouts, they'll give you like that little mini bottle of Tabasco. It's not like you're taking a bunch of those.
No,
like,
that's
for example,
right.
When I go, this is pre-COVID, I guess, but when I would go to Taco Bell, I would take like 2 heaping handfuls of fire sauce and just dump them in my bag.
Oh, they used to do that anyway.
It's
though.
a lot of sauce, but I never really thought that was that bad about myself because they were individually wrapped. Is this just because it's like a big bottle?
Yeah, it's a communal
Yeah.
thing. Totally.
Yeah.
And Taco Bell's notorious for throwing like a bag of sauce, like just a bag. You just get a bag of sauces anyway from them in that drive-through sometimes. So.
Yeah, I mean, fire sauce is legitimately fire, and they do bottle it, but it doesn't taste the same as like the packets that you get from there. So like, I always go in, I can't do it anymore because you can really only do drive-through. But so it's just because it's in a regular size bottle. Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
And Taco Bell, you picked the Taco Bell, and they're the most liberal with their sauce giveaways. So
yeah.
So yeah,
not
fine,
the
dude.
same
You're
thing.
you're within the bounds of the law on this one, I think.
Not the same thing. Nothing else to add.
Anything more on
Get
banks?
a new friend. Anything else on banks?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've even owned some bank stocks, but sometimes when I look at the value of something and you go, well, there was concern the stock price could go down if they changed the loan program. You're like, well, nobody's going like, hey, this guy's on CNBC. Be like, okay, it'd be great for debt forgiveness. It'd be great to figure out a way to change the borrowing of students. Be like, yeah, but do you know what's going to happen to this bank? Like, no one cares unless you own that stock, which is another cycle of selfishness that's happening. Be like, I'd love for kids to have some debt forgiveness, but I have a large position in this one bank that actually deals in student loans. So I don't know if I want that to happen. Anyway, we covered all of this on the debt trap
Yeah, we
thing
did. Yeah, we
with
totally
that
did.
author, where we got into the cycle of like something that started sort of altruistic with Lyndon Baines Johnson, who was like, look, I needed to borrow money. You know what? Do you guys want this history lesson again? I'm going to stop myself.
I can't believe you took
podcast
the
is long
bait. I
enough.
can't believe you took the bait.
Yeah.
No, I'm very passionate about it. Very passionate about it. All right. We will talk to you with Bill on Sunday because the playoffs have been awesome. And I'll be back on Tuesday.